Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday already. What's up? What's up? Hopefully, you guys are having a great week so far. And if you're not, let's change that today and tomorrow, shall we? But I appreciate you guys tuning in with me pre market. Let me know if you have any questions, you want any feedback on any trades you took so far this week. Let's hang out a little bit before the open here, shall we? Let's see if we have any news today on TradingView. Let's go to Forex Factory here. We'll also check financial news. We had earnings yesterday, as many of you probably saw. Move down, and Zarb and myself, I think, also kind of wanted the longs overnight, but I just don't really trade overnight. So we already had the GDP going on right now. Maybe that's what this big bar is. Yep. So right here at 8:30. Yep, catching some lift from there. It's a nice move up. But let's see, what was it? GDP. Well, let's refresh it. Let's get the numbers for it. Come on. There it is. So the GDP came out positive. Unemployment claims, don't really care. Slightly less people unemployed. They're probably going to change that. Home sales at 10, not the biggest concern. You can see they have it as an orange folder, but after that, tomorrow, core PCE, again, that's another pre-market one. So there's always some sort of news, either 8:30 or 10 o'clock, but nothing like the big ones like a CPI or an NFP and all those good things, which we'll probably have next week, right? Next week's already September. Good Lord. But catching some nice lift here. If you look at the overnight, well, first of all, yesterday, hopefully you guys made money on the longs. We can go over those markups if you guys want. I think there was some clean lessons in it. I mean, I think Monday was gross. Was Tuesday gross? Or am I even wrong on Monday? Monday we sat through a long trade for the long. Yep, actually reversed in the afternoon. Tuesday slowly climbed higher, but yes, I added in and got cooked. All right. Now I'm picking it up. And then yesterday, clean longs. So let's go over that first before we hop into today. If we throw in the overnight VWAP, and I have plenty of markups we can go over. This blue VWAP is yesterday's New York, so let's turn that off for this example. Look how well we moved up at the open, right? 9:30 bullish, but into that potential VWAP of the overnight. So maybe not the cleanest long because it could have rejected it and came back down, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the last setup of the day. Once it pops higher, it just kept drifting. And then what do you finally get? A pullback back to the overnight VWAP, which is where I love to find my entry prices to bounce back in the direction of trend. And that's what you got in the afternoon. So there's some longs there. We can take a look at those on the 1 minute. And then even, I'm not trading it, but even here at 3 o'clock, there was another bounce off it and you catch some lift. So if you don't have that overnight VWAP on yet, somehow, I would definitely suggest turning it on. You just simply go to your indicators. This is how easily I do it. Just go to your indicators and type in VWAP auto anchored. And then I don't think anyone even makes it. Just VWAP auto anchored. And then once you turn that on, it's probably going to have bands and whatnot. Yeah, turn off all the bands. We don't need any of those bands. Just the VWAP inputs. I don't know exactly what it comes as, but if you guys can see this text, it's just OHLC divided by 4. Make sure that's what your source is. So that's how you simply get the VWAP. And then when I remove that, you can see that's the same thing today. Anchor to the new start of day, new start of session, 6 p.m. Eastern. So that was yesterday. Clean bounces off of that. You look at it here, pre-market, pretty similar idea, even though it didn't come right off of it. Looking to find these retests off that overnight before the next move comes back in. It's clean when it's trending. When it's trending, it's super clean. When it just chops around this VWAP forever and doesn't make any sense, then no VWAP is really going to help you. But hopefully that you guys, like I said, made money yesterday on those longs. So we can take a look at this one. Yeah, I'm not trading this, but I mean, look at the power hour here. This is at 3:15. I hope no one's still trading it, but you can't deny it's a nice clean retest off that overnight VWAP again. Well, this is the New York, actually. We've actually had 3 tests to it. So Randy made long here, made money on the longs here at the open. I think he scalped it pretty nicely up, right? He was trailing stop, but there's the first bounce off New York pretty early in the session. If you missed that, there were some longs in here. We'll go over that. But if you just wait for that pullback back to the New York, you get 2 retests to it and the open range high, more money to be made from the upside. 3 o'clock, like I'm saying, I doubt anyone took this, but there is another retest off New York, and you catch some lift into the final hour. So what's the price that pays? It's this New York VWAP, and I made plenty of videos on it on YouTube. We talk about it on ASFX TV every morning, which is where we'll be in about 50 minutes or so. We'll be live on ASFX TV, so if you guys want to join there, you can just use code FIRST. You get access to it for free. But that was that power hour one, but let's do a little bit more realistic one. You guys probably, hopefully, someone took this setup, which is 1248. So definitely in the wheelhouse of being at the desk still. You have 2 bounces off the open range high. Buyers clearly defending this New York VWAP. What's the entry signal? The break of the high a day. right? This purple one from back here. So clearly buyers are in control today. They're defending this key level. Yeah, this looks just like our next higher low. Let's move back higher. Pretty simple, right? Easy when you look at it like that, but it's all about, well, what did you do between the first time it left New York and the second time it retested it? What do we do up in here is really what decides if we have a green day or not, right? Because if you're maybe chasing longs up here, getting stopped out, you chase them again there, you chase them again there, well, then you weren't wrong on wanting to long it. You just were impatient on waiting for it to come back lower towards those VWAPs, right? I don't think anyone was losing money because they were selling it here yesterday. I'm sure someone was, but then maybe you finally catch money in that. Very tough to time the pullbacks. I always suggest just trying to look for the next leg of trend. That's what I talk about all the time on ASFX TV. That's what the strategy is about. So if you go over here, you'll see we'll be live here today at 9:25. So definitely tune into that. Like I said, it's absolutely free. But this Futures 2.0, you'll see the VWAP break as well as the bounce place, right? I'm going to do an update to this one. Zach also has a course on the way. So if you guys want to trade a little bit ICT more, you'll get a look into his strategy and how he trades. He's crushing it. I mean, I don't think you'll see it in here, but he's crushing it on his Tradeify accounts. He's always passing combines in like 2 trades because he's just a menace. But that was yesterday's trade. So hopefully you guys made money on that. This is what I'm kind of talking about on, I guess, right after the open, right? But I did have some lessons. We're not going to put some names on blast, but there were some people messaging me yesterday on getting stopped out. I believe it was on NQ. So let's go over NQ first because they took this setup. They lost money on this long. Can anyone guess maybe how? When you see it move for a new high a day? Well, before you even answer, they got stopped out, not even at this current structure, right? That would be the first mistake of putting stop loss at current structure, because if we just draw that out, oh, look at that. You get stopped out twice, and then it moves higher. So there's no really previous structure to the left. I mean, that way down there, maybe you could do that, but I would say at least just give it more space below current structure. Maybe at opening range high, well below this handoff VWAP, which is anchored to the start of the last time we touched New York, for anyone that's confused on that. But why did they lose? They were in a good trade, in the right position, in the right direction. It was, in this case, too heavily sized because they actually got stopped out right there, which makes no sense, right? At least I want to get stopped out at current structure. I mean, I don't want to, but definitely not when it's still building higher lows against us. So this is just an example on contract sizing of being too heavy. The note, the markup said stopped out here, max drawdown. Well, then the stop loss wasn't even really down here. Even if you have it drawn down there, it's not actually there, because you're saying if you get 3 points of drawdown, it's going to automatically close you out. Well, then that's too heavily sized. We're not giving the trade enough space to work itself out. You might as well draw it like the stop loss is there, because that's really what it is. So that doesn't make sense. So then rather than doing 4 contracts, let's say, you just have to say, well, no, I need the stop down here. And in order to play with all the risk I have left, okay, I'm going to have to only do 2. It's a shame, but that's all the risk I have left. Would you rather lower the contract size and have a greater chance of sitting through the trade and winning, or going with the bigger contracts just because you want to, but now there's a greater chance you're just going to get stopped out because the trade doesn't make sense? I thought the answer was obvious, but maybe not. So test it out for yourself. Definitely give it a good room. I mean, this one was pretty choppy. And even the ES version of this one, less choppy, more time in profit, but same thing, right? Current structure here, it would have held safe. So this is why a lot of people probably see this markup and say, oh yeah, why can't I put it at current structure? That one would have held. Of course it'll hold sometimes, but most of the time, what's going to happen, right? It's the same thing with taking this first break open range high. It normally doesn't run, but it did yesterday. Doesn't mean we want to do that every single day. So if you need help with not chasing trades, knowing where stop loss is, like I said, it's all explained in the strategy on ASFX TV. Just join for free. Code FIRST. It's always down below. And you can always ask questions on the streams, right? About the setups that we're taking, we're not taking, how to manage them, right? We're live every morning, all morning. So participate. Say what's up. Ask some questions. Is there anything else in there? I think we got it. Those were yesterday's trades. I mean, you can take a look at the charts. Like I said, on the 1 minute, it's going to be clean. Look at these New York touches. Oof. Oof. But really, it is kind of tough. That was the one time I've taken a handoff VWAP, like I said, from here. Don't often do that, right? I'd rather still prefer for it to come all the way back down to New York and just long it down here. But sometimes you just get those drifters where you don't get the full pullbacks and there's still money to be made. So hopefully you guys made money on those days. What were we doing on, I already forget, on Tuesday? Oh, Tuesday. So we didn't live stream yesterday, right? I didn't stream yesterday, so maybe you guys didn't see my Tuesday. So let's go over that real quick. This was an example on a long. Same thing. Look at the stop losses and look how tight it was. Let's find a better example on maybe my long. Yeah, let's go over my long. But yeah, this was on Tuesday. We were live pre-market Tuesday, but not on Wednesday. So this is kind of the same example on stop loss placement, especially on timing the market, which is very tough to do in general, but especially when it's been this slow or it's been this choppy or we haven't gotten these quick follow-throughs like we want to or we sometimes do. I'm long on the bounce off New York view up here to the left, right? Not the best setup. It's kind of choppy. I wish could have gotten a little bit closer to view up, but it's fine. It's all good. It makes sense. Stop loss gives it all the room to opening range low. As long as it doesn't make a new low a day, I'd like to still be long and above New York VWAP. But then notice how it makes a new high, pulls back to New York, and buyers defend it again pretty well and even start to take out the high a day VWAP, telling me that they're 100% back in control. All right, well, that's kind of like its own entry signal that if I wasn't in the trade I am, it's telling me to get in long now. So I added in. And then with that add in, the trade kind of now looks like this. I'm long now here, but with the heavier sides, because I've now added twice, I moved the stop loss up a little bit. Again, not to this current structure, but to previous back here. Maybe this was previous, right? My mistake. And I get just tagged out before the move actually was right. I was in the right direction. I had a pretty good price. It just wanted to play around with this New York view up for maybe 10 minutes, maybe 30, maybe an hour. Who the hell knows? I wanted it to be, no, this is the hold. Now buyers are in. Let's go to the moon. And you'll find those. Those will happen. But on the days when they don't, you could still make money even when it's choppy, even when it's slow, right? Because you're getting a good price. It's not about like this is the perfect time to long it at 10.14. We go nothing but higher from here. No, I'm long it at 10.14 at this New York VWAP bounce. It may take a little while to develop. It may not. We'll find out. So that was another lesson on that day on my own trades, right? The other one we went over earlier. Look at this one again. Same thing. Bounce off New York. Bounce off New York VWAP. Break of high day. See you later. So with that one, no matter how tight your stop is, didn't matter. Took on no drawdown, just straight profit, all buyers in control, which is what we were looking for. And you could even say, when I'm longing it back here, the idea is it's going to follow through like this. Buyers are in, let's move higher. It's the same idea. And they both stand correct, and it's pretty much the same price, but they're just all this noise in between. So hopefully you guys made money, or if you lost money, you made it back by maybe playing this later idea. That even on the ugliest days, if you just get a good price level and stop trying to time the market so perfectly that when I buy it, right, it's the equivalent of being like, I'm going to sell it right now. Now's the time to sell it. And it just sells off. But why not sell it back here? Or why not sell it there? Why not that red candle, right? We're not going to always time it, but if you could just say, I want to be short around here with a good stop, well, then you're wrong on the timing, but you do eventually hold through to see the idea out and make money in it. I hope no one's short at that. But it's the same thing as longing it here, right? Yeah, that's the price to buy it, but it chopped a little bit and then moved for you. There's my spiel. Tough. But how are we doing this morning? We got 30 minutes into the open. How are we still respecting that New York? We have the news come in. We're still above this overnight, so buyers looking to defend it. I'd like to find longs today. That's for sure. You can see that pullback we had with the news yesterday on earnings in the afternoon. Down. The start of the session trickled down. I remember I saw it, I think, up in here and maybe even lower. I was like, I don't think we're going to have a bearish day just because of that earnings. I mean, we're still very bullish, and lo and behold, we created a higher low, and now we're back at all-time highs. I think so. Yeah. I mean, I guess this morning, technically, maybe slightly, it was an all-time high or matching it from yesterday's pin. So very, very bullish. It's tough to be a seller when we're 6 points from all-time high. I'll tell you that much. So I'd love to find longs, especially when we are above this overnight VWAP. It makes it easy to want to long it. You're above the starter week VWAP in yellow, and you can see that's what we held overnight. So hopefully it's not too confusing with all these VWAPs we have going on. It's really, once you learn them and you start putting them on, it's rather simple. It's like 3 VWAPs on this 15 minutes. To start a week, there's no real analysis other than, all right, you can see we ended up coming back below it. We cut through it on Tuesday afternoon, all above it yesterday, all above it today. Simply, that's it. There's no certain like candle closures, a doji, a shooting star, none of that bullshit. Just simply, what side of the view up are we on? And you throw on yesterday's New York, same thing you could see. we're above that. It's lining up with today's overnight. So now with the longs, we're above these two and this one. We have full view up alignment for longs. If we can get above the New York view up here in 30 minutes, that's easy longs, or more easy than it would be if we were fighting some view up. So stick to the longs until maybe we get new information below a couple of the view ups that now we're actually not above the overnight in previous days. Buyers aren't given that control. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll look for shorts, or maybe buyers are waiting to come back in. Let me see. And if you don't know what to do, come on stream. You'll see how we manage the price action at the open. Probably going to let the open range set as we do every morning. That first 15 minutes is going to be pretty telling on what we should do and what we need to do. But you never know. Could be a strong bullish pop at the open, and it's already at an all-time high in the first 10 minutes. NQ's probably looking the same. Clean overnight. Also, how much have we moved from overnight to the high? 33 points. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Philip, what's up? Do you know about the candle range theory, CRT? I do not. How to set view up. I always use default settings. So I have a video on YouTube, and I don't know exactly what settings it would be. I showed a little bit earlier of make sure the source of any view up you have on is OHLC 4 divided by 4. I know you guys probably can't see that small little thing, but that's what it is. OHLC 4 for any view up that you put on. If I put on a high a day or a low a day, it's really just the drawing tool, right? The trading view drawing tool is the anchor view up there. I think it's 4 columns down here where you get the long and short position. Just pop that out on, fifth one down. Long and short position up top, and then volume based anchor view up. And you just click it away. Drag it back to yesterday, drag it to today's high, do whatever you want with it. That way you can put it to any specific candle you want. Like I want to a previous day's 9:30, to a start of week way back on Sunday. And then, like I said, the VWAP auto anchored is going to automatically anchor it to the start of day for you. And there is a paid one. If you want to get the Lux Algo one, it automatically sets all the VWAPs for you, right? I could turn that one on here if you guys want to see that. If you click that on, pull up the settings, here's all the VWAPs. I could turn on the start of session, previous days in New York, high of day, low of day, start of month, start of year, opening range sets for you. So that is in Austin's links in his bio if you want to check that out. I don't have a link for that on me. Maybe I do in my notes, but that's how you find that. I do. I don't know how to get it to you in the YouTube chat. I don't know. Can I go watch myself on YouTube? Ike, good morning. The worst risk reward in Jersey, I heard, or I've seen. Love the license plate. It's a bold move. Bold move, Cotton, but I love it. That's funny. But let's see. Like I said, go over ASFX TV. We got 20 minutes or so. Austin's gonna be on. I think, did he say he had a guest coming on? Should I reveal that or keep it a secret? I guess I'll keep it a secret for now. I don't know. Don't want to speak too soon. Does anyone in a trade overnight in the longs? I know Zach wanted the longs overnight. I don't know if he would. Actually, he might have. I know he sent some markups in the BSC this morning. Fellow Northeaster. Steve, James. Yeah, 10:10 at night. Zarb sending markups in the BSC. And he's longing it. So Zach did, in fact, trade it last night. What a savage. He's crushing it, honestly. I think we've been trading together for probably over a year now, for sure. Because remember we did that podcast in March of, 24. But no, that was March of 2023 in New York City. So it's been at least 2 or so years, and this is definitely the best I've seen Zarb do. Absolutely crushing it. And he'll be on stream today as well. Actually, no, he's not. I just lied to you. He's got some sort of a meeting today. But normally, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, he's on. So not this Thursday, but he'll be back on Tuesday if I had to guess. And then we'll keep cooking with him like he's cooking there. All right? Wherever you anchor VWAP, price seems to react from it. Do you have any rules-based approach to anchor VWAP? wherever you anchor VWAP, price seems to react from it. I mean, you could literally anchor a VWAP to anything. I could anchor to this 2:30 in the morning candle, and oh, we're right above it. Shit, should I buy it? There's so many VWAPs you can do. It gets very confusing, but you want to think about, why is this VWAP important? Why is there a VWAP from the changeover of day? Why is that important? Why do I want to know who's been in control since yesterday's New York, right? These make sense to me. Same thing with why from 9:30. I want to know who's in control since the open, but like, I don't care the volume since 2:30 in the morning or stuff like that. So that's why I just keep it simple with these three on the higher time frames that you see. It's just a start of week. We leave it there all week. No management. Previous days in New York, it's simply just yesterday's 9:30. See if we can get above both of them. We are above both of them. Beautiful. Simple as that. But I definitely do have YouTube videos on the VWAP of which ones to use. I've been sending it out a lot lately. I feel like just because it explains maybe the best. It literally says which VWAP to use. 15-minute versus 1 minute. That could be a good one. Let's see. Maybe this one. Which VWAP to use? Those ones inside the thumbnail make zero sense. I'll tell you that. It doesn't make any sense. It's just bands, VWAP, multiple VWAP. But the video makes sense. Make sure you guys check that out. Wish there was like a chat I could send the link to. I mean, some of you guys are in here. Can I copy it in there? Join the conversation? I can't even join my own stream? What the hell? That's bullshit. Inception. You guys are watching yourself twice. But it's on my YouTube channel, so just scroll back, maybe type my name and VWAP. But if you do that, you probably get a shit ton of videos. So maybe type in the which VWAP to use. Evan Dyer. I don't know. But I'd like to find some longs today. I think there's some good lessons, like I said, this week. Hopefully you guys made money on one of the days. Right? Is anyone down bad from yesterday's trend, or even what we were saying, Wednesday, Tuesdays? Because the longs were there, right? If we keep it on these VWAPs, right, you could see I lost because I added in. But on this markup alone, it would have been a hell of a trade to just sit through forever. But geez, if I didn't do the add-in or I left the stop alone, I would have held and won. But with the add-in, right, management, boring shit, I lost. But the winner was there. So hopefully you guys made some money on one of these longs. And the same thing with yesterday. Hopefully either the handoff, you scalped this up a little bit higher, or you longed it back here with Randy on stream. Long, stop loss at lower day, right? If you're long back here on this bounce above New York, even though it would have been safe this time, don't just hug a stop loss there at that higher low, because we don't know if it wants to come back down. And this is going to be our higher low from back here, right? So give it all the room. It's still the volatility of the open. You could definitely probably get 1R, get a nice move out of it that you could scalp it up on the break of open range. And if you miss that, there's a pullback, break of high day again, take that one higher. Plenty of opportunities. Once you guys mark them up, hopefully you guys at least mark up all the trades that we just saw there, right, on your own. And then if you haven't, now that you've seen me do them, hopefully you guys will as well. But just seeing all the opportunities this week, right? Let's say on a Friday, I do 2 more markups or whatever. I'll have like 25, probably more, sets of information and data and types of setups that could have been in play this week. Wins and losses. Where were most of the wins? Where were the stop losses on those wins? Where were most of the losses? Why did they lose? Did I mismanage them? Did I get in too heavy, right? My Tuesday is a great lesson because the setup's fine. The setup wasn't broken. How did I lose? Why did I lose? Okay, maybe I could have not added in. Could have left the stop where it was. So now next week, with that in mind, I can now remind myself of, I know you want to move the stop here, but you might want to still give it the space to breathe. Keep it at open range low, right? You're taking a lesson from it to hopefully get better. If you're just not making money or getting these losses, getting tagged out early, and just then coming back the next day hoping it magically fixes itself, that's not going to happen. As simply as I could put it. I mean, that's just, why would it magically change? So the whole point of markups is just to get a little bit better, get a little bit more pattern recognition on my favorite VWAP, what price action looks like on its way out of the opening range, at the open, all this different boring shit. Then once you get it, you feel good. CJ got chopped up yesterday. I should have just stayed flat. I don't know if you should have stayed flat. You want to say, how could I have made money on the longs, right? So even that little simple comment. I'm not saying it was bad, CJ, but like rather than just take it as like, oh, I lost money, I should have just stayed flat. No, there were setups to make money. So how could I have made money on the longs instead of how did I lose? Right? Any red day you have, it's not like I should have just been flat. What? No, there was opportunities there. How could we have gotten them? Why didn't we get them? Let me go look to get them tomorrow. How could I have made money on these? I didn't make money today. What could I have done? Right? Rather than being like, I got chopped up and stopped out. I should have just stayed out of this long. No. Maybe I could have given it a bigger stop loss. Maybe I could have been long earlier in the day and catching that pop, right? All these different things. Rather than just being like, yeah, I lost. That sucks. Should have been flat. Some days, yes. Some days we should be flat. When you look at the price action, you're like, should have just been flat. But other days, you're like, nah, trades were nice. When you look back at, was it last week, Monday? Last week, Monday. Great markups, Evan. Really good job. Oh, yeah. Look at last Monday. Last Monday was like fucking super choppy. Break out of the low, break out of the high, new low a day, right back to New York, slowly chugs, but no new low a day, back to the middle, back to the bottom, close to coming back to the top. I mean, yeah, maybe I could have stayed flat on that day, but also probably not. There's definitely, how could I have made money? What does it make sense to long it there? And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But sometimes you can say, why could I have longed it there? Maybe I could have shorted it there, could have shorted it here and scalped some money out. What could I have done? Always just look to be a student. It's really it. Right? The market tests you every morning. Okay, today I failed, but like, what could I have done? What was the right answer? What could I have done better? Adrian, why do I prefer ES over NQ? I trade both. But I still would probably prefer ES just because of maybe not the slowness of it, but just the craziness of NQ sometimes with the volatility. But I will say it kind of depends on the day. Look, let's take a look at yesterday. ES and NQ. So this high day break on ES comes at 1050. This break on NQ comes at 1051. So same exact setup, no? But just noticing how, for my viewing pleasure, it doesn't look as overextended out of this pop because it's pretty close to coming back to New York, right? When you look at NQ, it's pretty high up here, not really close to its New York VWAP, that there's definitely some space it could want to fill. That's one of the cases. The price action at the open on NQ was first bearish, now back up. Okay, when you look at ES, it was nothing but bullish. So ES just looks like the more strong bullish asset today. So I'm going to trade that one. I think they both want to go higher, but ES just looks a little bit more clean. So if you take the same exact setup as me at 1050 on a different asset, look how much choppier your NQ is, right? You might have even lose. And then it finally pops higher at like 12 o'clock, where on ES, it drifts higher for you. Same thing, 12 o'clock. So I just pick which one looks better that day. Sometimes when they look the exact same, I'll lean into ES, but sometimes NQ looks a little bit cleaner, right? Maybe on this setup on ES, it's up here, but I look at NQ, this pullback's right off New York. I'll be like, oh, well, I love that. I'll just take it on NQ then, right? That's it. Had I stayed flat and not forced a trade, I would have preserved my capital. I know that there is always a setup, but I wasn't seeing it. All right, yeah. So, I mean, if you don't see the setups, then yeah, could always say I should have stayed flat rather than take stuff I don't know if I should be in and things like that, Yeah, but then the next step would be to try to learn what those setups are that you are looking for. Like I said, if you join the streams, you can go through this whole course on Futures 2.0. It's like less than 4 hours, probably less than 3. And you'll get an idea of what we're looking for on these setups. And then my YouTube videos pretty much every day recap what the setups are, what we did. Travis, new to TradeZella. How do you paste the pick of your markup from TradingView? Simple. So it's behind my camera right now. Maybe we could change that. Let's see. Well, I'm gone. There I am. I guess this is fine. So if you look in the top right, just where the camera is on TradingView, next to publish, just go to the camera, copy link, go over to your TradeZella, paste it on in there. That's a YouTube link, but you get the gist. Simple as that. And then sometimes I'll even, if I want to like make it obvious, I'll copy image. I do that a lot for Twitter. But then sometimes like the lesson of the day or what was the trade of the day, I'll just put a picture of the trade, right? So then that way I can remember it and see it before I forget that it was on that day. So there you go. Simple, simple, simple. And then with all that, once you do your DRC, we have you share it in the BSC, and then that way other people can see those, you see your DRC and give you feedback on it. Yeah, easy, no problem. I'm new to this channel. First time see the streamer. Oh, I'll appreciate it. What's up? Do you have a real track record or STH other than TradeZella? I really want to follow you, but I would love to see that. So, I mean, you could go watch any of these 7,800 million videos that I posted here, or I'll do you one better. Come watch me the trade this morning on stream for free. Absolutely free. I think we went over it yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't know really how to do it now without signing out. But literally, start an account, absolutely free. Just use code FIRST. You'll be able to trade with me, Austin, Randy, James, Zarb, Tanner, Lawrence, all these different people for free for a whole month. And you can watch the recordings and go through the course. You can watch the replays. Right? It's free. So, like, literally no harm. If you don't like it, get up on out of there. No harm, no foul. Hate to see you go. Love to watch you leave. Is that what they say? ASFX TV. Right there. And the link's always in my bios of any social. All right, if you go to my Twitter here, go to the link in bio there, you'll see get your first month free. Code FIRST. I also got discount for you if you guys want TradeZella and you guys aren't doing your own markups or you've never done them, right? Travis, I think you said you're new to TradeZella. If you want a discount code there, it's 20% off for the yearly plan or 10% off on the monthly. Same thing with Top One Futures, which I should mention now that we're here. I don't think I have the graphic pulled up, but from now until Sunday, I think on yesterday's stream or so, I got it wrong. I was saying Friday, but on Sunday, the 31st, the giveaway for Top One is going down. So any purchase you make on a Top One account between now and Sunday will get you an entry into that giveaway. You just have to use my code to get in. I think I probably posted about it sometime this week. Yeah. So every purchase you make with my code will automatically be an entry, right? So if you buy 3 accounts, you'll get 3 entries into the giveaway. Whether you want the giveaway or not, or whatever, you have no say in it. If you buy one, you'll automatically be in it. But all accounts are 50% off regardless of the giveaway. And that might be ending on the 31st as well. So like I said, any account between now and Sunday, giving away 40. It's not like we're giving away 1 account. You got 40 opportunities to win an instant funded account. Not bad, not bad. And like I said, anytime you guys need anything I talk about, it's probably in my links here. Right? The YouTube videos are there, my Instagram, the BSC. Try to make it easy. David, nope. Free month is a no-brainer. Guys produce so much value in courses and streams. I appreciate it, David. Thank you. Travis signed up yesterday with code ASFX. Beautiful. I'm going to get in, J Money. Yeah, I will put you on game, J Money. And not saying we don't provide value. We definitely do. But even if we didn't, let's just pretend we didn't provide any value. Well, it's free. So normally that would kind of be like, well, it's free. How fucking good could it be? I mean, don't expect something very high quality if it's free. Normally got to pay for something high quality. But it's not always free. So that's why it's just test it out for free. See if you like it. If you do and you find value in it, then stick around. If you don't, unfortunately, we'll see you later. You know? But yeah, like I said, I do need to do an update to it. So maybe you guys can press me on it. It'll be done in Q4 regardless. But I do need to do an update to the course. I think it's almost been a year. I dropped this in October of last year. And definitely needs an update. It's so old. Look at that. On my credentials, there they are. Fucking 6 years ago. Trading, weighing 110 pounds, soaking wet. Probably. There's my credentials. I mean, once you go through the course, obviously you're not going to watch the introduction a second time or a third time, but you can go over the view up, actually, the strategy of it and all that. Oh, this was in October, yeah. So that's a shame. I'll have to put an update in it because my streak isn't in it. My best trading streak. What a shame. What a shame. But really, once you go through it, just keep on focusing on chapter 8, 9, and 10. I'd say all of them, but like once you get the key levels, hopefully you remember them. You don't need to watch that again. Take profit and stop loss. Maybe good to remind yourself once or twice, right? Because we just went over a bunch of markups that was kind of the factor on if you made money or not where you bought it or like direction. It's where your stop was. All-time high view up. Not that needs to be removed, but we don't do that too often. But it is valuable. I mean, it is on the chart. You want to know how to use it. But being at all-time highs almost like today, which is crazy, but back in October we were not. It's like the all-time high view up's not in play because we're like continually making new all-time highs. You know, an all-time high view up is like when you're underneath it and we're approaching it again or stuff like that. But definitely we'll do an update to that. And like I said, we got Tanner and Lawrence coming on tomorrow. Randy as well to close out the week on a Friday. James will be on today. Austin will be on today. Unfortunately, no Zarb. He's got some appointment that he couldn't move or change. So we knew that ahead of time. But he'll be on next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday as always. So like I said, he's definitely the ICT trader of the group. And he'll be, like I said, Austin's working with him in the back end of approving his course and getting it out to you guys. I know you guys have been wanting that, whether you want to trade the view up like me or you want to trade more so like him. We'll have something for you, you know. But this is still just moving higher here. All-time high, whether it's yesterday's pin or today's high. 4 points away, folks. Sound the alarm. Sound the alarm. That's crazy. I mean, this isn't bad, of course. I just like when we come down heading into the open and I can find longs before this move happens, right? I want to catch this move. This bounce we just got off of the overnight, I want to be in that, right? I don't want to be at new highs a day into the open and now it just rips higher. It's like, well, where do I long that? You know, I want to be as close to these view ups as possible. So same thing with, like we were kind of saying yesterday, because when you buy it close to the view up, you catch the pop. How far does that pop go before it slows and wants to pull back? Well, is it that bar, this bar? Turns out it's that bar, but we don't know that in the moment. Comes back to that view up. Now you get to the next leg, right? So when I can get close to that view up, I'm super confident that if this moves back in the direction that we've been trending, we got a great price. Now, of course, if trend was just saying, yeah, we're going to change, doesn't matter what price you got. You're on the wrong side. You lost, right? But because someone could buy it up here and buy it up there, they lose money on a bullish day buying it. Not because they were wrong on wanting to buy it, just the timing of buying it at the same price here. You gotta let the pullback come in first. What are we drawing there? Same thing with that, right? So I always like to try to come in after a pullback, which would have been let it pull back. Now let's buy it. Let it pull back. Now let's buy it. So not to say we can't buy it at the open and catch the next higher high, but just speaking of ideal conditions, yeah, we'd be a little bit lower here, but that's all good. Market doesn't care what we want, does it? I don't think so. But I appreciate you guys tuning in with me all morning. Like I said, we got full week of streams next week, except for Monday, Labor Day. You guys in the U.S., enjoy the day off. We'll be back on stream on Tuesday, but we also have today's stream, like I said, on ASFX TV, and tomorrow's stream. So for anyone chilling here on YouTube or Twitter, go to ASFX TV, and then you go to Thursday here. You can see the intro's probably already running. We got Caesars in there, Shaw, Lance, Scott, Alfredo. So they're piling in there already. So definitely go tune into that. We'll be there live until 11 o'clock or so, just because there's no Zach today. But let's make some money at the open. Let's close the week out strong. Finish the month out strong as well, right? Take trades that you're proud of, and you'll look back on the end of the month following good habits better than you did in the first 2 weeks or so. Let me know if you need me. Like as always, I'm around if you need me. I'll be back on stream tomorrow as well. But yeah, check out the top one sale if you need an account before the giveaway on Sunday. And tune into ASFX TV here. Just use code FIRST, all right? It's running on the bottom. The links are down below, or you could just go up here, all righty? But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me pre-market. It's rocking and rolling, starting in a minute. See you guys in there. Appreciate you.